Mineral, Gem, Stone and Fossil World, Europe's largest trade fair for minerals, gemstones, jewelry and fossils, reveals an enormously diverse spectrum. An exciting forum for experts and collectors, an indispensable marketplace for exhibitors. Above all, the many special exhibitions are in the focus of the general interest and the international press. In 2017, all the special shows were presented together for the first time under one motto: From Mine to Mine. Under this slogan, nearly 40,000 visitors could experience an exciting voyage of discovery to the most striking localities in the world, where the treasures of nature were painfully recovered by hand. Through the slanted entrances to the masterpiece mines, children and adults got a look into a unique world of stone. Masterpieces of nature from the famous mines of Europe. Who was not impressed by the big Heliodor from the Ukrainian Volodyarsk mines? And all the Asian highlights, crystals and steps, their finders and their world-renowned collectors. Besides many Indian top finds, Chinese rarities captivated the astonished audience. The masterpiece mines should not miss the South Australian Whyalla, the origin of the shoe, grown within gypsum crystals, plus the fascinating play of colors of the noble opals from the Queensland mines and the precious stones from the mines of Africa. How thrilling to read the stories of the Brazilian mines, especially the precious imperial topaz from the famous Capão mines or the amethyst drusen from Rio Grande do Sul. No less exciting, the stories about the gold and mineral discoveries from the United States. The unique natural palaces of the Benituat in California, the splendor of Pikes Peak in Colorado, and the rhodochrosite of the famous Sweet Home mine. There were also high-quality quartzes from Arkansas. A special eye-catcher, the gigantic rock crystal step of the Zagros mine. In addition to the European geo-teaching collections and the associated instrumentalities, stone presentations and sumptuous caskets, the motto "From Mine to Mine," the path from the place of discovery to the owner, was also illustrated by the example of the localities of all alpine regions. The alpine mines. These include the Mežica mine in the Slovenian Valley of Death, formerly known as lead and zinc supplier, with their impressive wolfenite steps. Next to this, the exciting discovery stories of the Austrian sites were told. The epidote of the Knappenwand and the emeralds from the Habachtal. It was hard to imagine for the astonished audience that these colorful fluorite crystals from the Italian mines at Sogno Camisinone used to get into the crushers of the stone mills. And passionate gem finders told their stories about the Fenillus mine in the Alpine Gold Province, or how their Swiss gem finder fairy tales could come true. Fluorite octahedrons from Plangenstock, or smoky quartzes and hematites from the famous Kavradi Gorge. And finally, the highlights of the French Alps could not be missing. Perfect clear rock crystals from the Mine de la Gardette, as well as the siderite and sphalerite finds from La Mure. Then a sea lily of more than 6 meters in length towered over the third special show. Yin and yang of primeval world oceans. On one hand, sea crocodiles and even one of the rare flying sows, which plunged into the sea about 180 million years ago, as well as fish lizards in Posidonia's schist, represented the genesis of fossil sensations from Holzmaden in the foothills of the Swabian Alps. On the other hand, the history of discovery and collection of the fossils of Monte Bolca in Upper Italy's Lacinic Mountains was shown, including the world-famous angelfish. All of them are witnesses of a subtropical fish fauna about 50 million years ago. Once upon a time, Opalbanya in Hungary was considered a worldwide unique noble opal mine. Today, however, the corridors and shafts are underwater. French operators had to close the site in 1922, when the Australian noble opals had finally conquered the world market. The history of the noble opals and the other minerals was illustrated by the last of the special shows, From the Seclusion of Nature to Lordly Shine. According to the guiding principle, from mine to mine, the path from the locations all over the world to the palaces of the kings and emperors became clear. Egyptian porphyrs for the Roman emperors, spinels from Tajikistan and Burma for the Bohemian king, Colombian emeralds for the Habsburg emperors, silver from Schwarz in Tyrol for the coin of the sovereign prince, and Indian diamonds for the French Sun King. The director of the Diocesan Museum, Professor Matthias Kloft, is interested in the origin of the gems at the Alectus Treasure of Trier, stored in Limburg. We are standing in the treasury of the Diocesan Museum Limburg. The pieces we see here in this room represent some of the most important Baroque goldsmith works. They were created in the 17th century by goldsmiths from Köln and Frankfurt for the archbishops and electors of Trier, Karl Caspar von der Leyen and Johann Hugo von Orsbeck. The religious reason is that in a time when nature was discovered as the work of the Creator, the beauty of nature, of the Creator, should be shown by the most beautiful things in the best of human skill. In order to give the visitors of the Munich Show the opportunity to admire the beauty of nature in the form of polished gemstones, the Limburg Cathedral chapter gave the Trier Treasury to Munich. During the fair, Professor Hans Albert Gilg was even able to prove what kind of minerals they are and where they came from. We examine this Baroque mitre studded with gemstones with scientific methods. There are two ways to do that. Raman spectroscopy, which tells us which mineral we have, and the X-ray fluorescence analysis that we can do chemical studies with. Thus we have found that we have 10 different gems, from diamond to ruby, sapphire and emerald, and further to topaz, a colorless stone being actually very rare at this time and may be added later. That was a big surprise. And it was also very surprising that we found almost no glass stones, although the stones were very clear, and we visually suspected that there would be a lot of glass. But in fact, they are all genuine stones of excellent quality.
In Wirklichkeit sind das alles echte Steine von hervorragender Qualität.
Another important aid is the UV lamp, and here we can see, for example, that the diamonds down here are shining very beautifully, while the topaz does not fluoresce at all. Dr. Bernhard Graf himself, curator of the exhibition, led His Imperial Highness Archduke Marcus of Habsburg-Lorraine to these grandiose treasures. Every stone is a spark of divinity. The president of the Imperial Foundation, Dr. Egon von Elrichshausen-Rothenburg, was really enthusiastic. I'm completely thrilled with the objects and the exhibition. I think here you can see the access of mankind to the divine. This is incredibly touching for me. It's going far beyond the material, which moves me deeply. The Cistercian nuns of the Seligenthal monastery were also very astonished about the long journey of the minerals from the historical site to the ornate work of art, from mine to mine. Her abbess, Mother Petra Atticus. Well, I would like to say I'm quite speechless. It is wonderful. I knew from the picture I saw on the internet that it was going to be beautiful, but that it would be so amazing I could not have imagined. Thank you very, very much. And their Royal Highnesses Duchess Elizabeth and Duke Max Emanuel in Bavaria stand in awe of the electoral regalia too. I am really overwhelmed by what we see here. I did not know that, never saw it. It is incredible in its quality and splendor, beauty and state of preservation. We are lucky being allowed to have a look at all this today.